So for me, working with the inside guys and the outside guys, I've had experience of doing both, and now being able to combine them, I think it's been good to have them all in the same room, kind of hearing the same message. It's these guys have to work together so much, especially when we are in our 4-down spacing. They really got to know what each other's doing all the time. So for them to be able to hear and understand not only what they're doing, but what the guy next to them is doing, I think that's been a big advantage for the guys. They're starting to be able to grow in their own learning about how they need to play their position. So I think it's worked out well.
Is there anything even subtle like with Caleb and Garrett? Obviously, they've been in the system. They've made a spot for themselves. But now being called edge rushers, is there anything different about what they're being asked to do?
No, I think the question about, hey, am I a defensive end or an outside linebacker? I think, the edge term has kind of become fashionable. I think a lot of people watch a draft, and those guys are referred to as that. I think in most defenses at this day and age, especially when you're a multiple front like we are, when you're playing in the 3-4 spacing, you're an outside linebacker. And then when we move down to our 4-down spacing, those guys are truly defensive ends. So they're a combination of both. That's why they got to be able to do all three phases: rush quarterback, set the edge of the run game, and also be able to drop a little bit.
What do you expect out of Mathis, some of the transfers that are coming in from other places? Will they make an impact early on? Will it take a while?
Yeah, I think that when you're a new guy coming in, the difference with the transfers coming in compared to like a freshman, for example. So a guy like O'Shawn, a guy like Stefan, they've been around programs, they played a lot of football, so they kind of know the techniques, they know the fundamentals, they just might not know the words. So, what they might have called one thing, I might call something else, and they got to kind of learn that new language. But other than that, the physical part of it and the techniques that they need to use, they've done all that stuff before. So that's something they should be able to jump right into.
How important, especially in this league, is the defensive front? I mean, that's
Yeah, I would put that right at the top of the list. I think that in this game, in this conference in particular, it's as the O-line goes, as the D-line goes, that's how each side of the ball is probably going to go. So you got to be able to be great up front in this league. It's everybody knows big, strong, powerful guys, both on the O-lines and D-lines in this league, and you got to be able to match up. And if you don't win those battles, you're going to have a long road ahead of you.
They've been really good on defense. Get everybody back on the staff. With a lot of the moving parts on offense, do you take pride in being the rock kind of right now?
I think that we have our defensive staff has a really good mesh together. We've been together for a while. We all understand each other and work well together. We have relationships that go outside of the walls here. We're guys that have been around each other, and we know each other's kids and families and things like that. So I think that we look forward to coming into work every single day. When we're in the meeting room, it's not like, oh man, I got to get this meeting over with, get away from these guys. We love talking football with each other. We love watching film. We love solving problems together. It's definitely a collective effort, and obviously with Chin's running the whole thing, but everybody's got to say in what we're doing, and I think everybody appreciates that.
We got to talk to Garrett in Indianapolis. He was really open about how he felt like he wasn't giving us all up until this offseason. Talked with his dad, got going. Have you seen that change in him? And maybe in what ways is he sort of taking that next step?
Yeah, I think that Garrett might be being a little bit humble on that. I think that certainly what Garrett has done, I've never questioned his effort or how much he gives to the game. I think he's really taking a great leap forward in the other facets, learning the game, studying it, the mental part of it. Physically, he'll work harder than any guy I've ever been around. So, the part of getting it down mentally, what am I doing? And if I make a mistake, that's okay. How do I learn from it? Rather than, I couldn't have made a mistake. I would never make a mistake. He hasn't been like that at all, and really embraces, I think, the learning part, and then the other part. I've never seen a guy take a step forward in the leadership part of it. I mean, he's a guy that the guys look to. They know that his actions are definitely louder than words, and now when he speaks and uses those words, they definitely want to listen. They want to. They see how hard he works at it, and I think the guys respect that and want to do the same.
What's the task for you? Maybe you were asked this, but just with the transfers that come in, you got Mathis and Broom, Wynn. What's that integration been like? What's maybe the priority for you getting everyone on the same page?
Yeah, so there's two things. Number one, you got to get them ready to go out there and play against Northwestern. That's the number one job. Hey, I have to get these guys caught up on our terminology and what our calls mean and what our defenses are. So that's number one. Number two is integrating them into the room. It's a powerful room with a lot of strong personalities, and making sure that these guys fit and they're part of it. And luckily for me, the guys have been awesome. They fit in really well. I think the other guys have really embraced them. And it's been a pretty seamless transition that way. So that, to me, was what I was most concerned with coming in. How am I going to make these guys fit in a room that haven't been here and haven't been doing it with these guys? But they've been awesome about it.
How much of that work still has to be done?
Yeah, I think that the team is always growing, right? I think every practice, throughout training camp in particular, when you're here all the time in the building, pretty much from sun up to past sundown, and I think that will continue to grow. The guys continue to, I think they respect each other, but I think they'll continue to grow the trust they have for each other and what each guy's going to do while they're on the field. They're going to keep seeing that over the course of practice and meetings and how they learn, how they communicate, and all that stuff. So I think it's going to be a big part of moving forward.
Robinson kind of described himself not as a captain, but as an enforcer with the is that the role he fills there?
Well, once again, I think Ty might be, being a little bit humble that way. I think he has definitely some leadership qualities that probably come along with being a little bit of an enforcer. That term, I've used the term, maybe the sheriff in the locker room, keep everything in line, keep everything together. And I think Ty has the ability to do both those things. Ty's playing at a high level right now, and I think that's part of it. You got to be able to bring the whole group with you when you're playing at a high level. You want the guys to all be working in that direction, and I think Ty's done a nice job so far this camp with that.
He was very complimentary too of Colton Feast, the progress he's made.
It's been awesome for me to watch Colton Feast kind of grow as a guy that showed up our first year as a walk-on here. And I remember the first day he was here trying to hit the sled, and the sled was kind of hitting him back to a guy that is another guy that's an exceptional worker, and he's worked himself in position to be one of the guys that's really playing pretty well inside and doing a nice job. So I'm looking forward to the rest of camp with him and watching him kind of take the final growth into this journey and being an impact player.
Caleb said he's ready to get the pads on today. What have you kind of seen from him so far in that regard?
Yeah, Caleb's been running at a pretty fast pace over the last couple of days with just helmets on, and it's good to see him get in there with the pads on. I think especially with the O-line and D-line, it's hard to get a realistic look of what's going to happen to you with just t-shirts and shorts on, and we all know that part of this game, the big part of this game, is your hand placement, where your eyes are going to be, and when you don't have pads on for both groups, it makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to really see how you're playing. So I think that's probably fair for all the guys. Hey, let's get the pads on, if I'm an O-lineman or a D-lineman, see where I stand, see where I stack up, see where I'm at after that summer conditioning and going through that phase of it. So hopefully both the guys are excited for it, which seemed like they were today.